Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, there's been a lot of talk about Alaska and what the alternatives are. And, a lot of people are saying that things are on hold and everything like that. So let's just go over it one more time. So just over the weekend, Norwegian Cruise Line was another one of the cruise lines that joined in and said they are not canceling their Alaska cruises. They continue to work with government officials, and they're in contact with CLIA, and they're in contact with the Canadian government over their ban. There's lots of talks going on, so they haven't canceled the Alaska season, but they also aren't taking any new bookings for this year for the Alaska season, which is a smart move because, you're just going to end up giving it all back and trying to work. It's just a lot of work for possibly no reason. Not to mention if they say you can sail, but you can only sail with 25% capacity and you've already sold 75% of your ship. You see, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't if you're a cruise line. But let's take a look at the alternatives. First of all, in the United States, getting an amendment to the Passenger Service Act. It's been done before, very rarely, but it's been done before for hurricane relief, where they were, allowed to take ships from one U.S. port to another U.S. port to deliver goods and emergency services and things like that. That was considered a national defense issue, a state emergency, a country emergency, a declaration of something that's really important to the national defense and the national country as a whole. That's why it was allowed to do it. At no point in the history so far of that Passenger Vessel Act, it has never been overlifted or amended in any way for financial reasons. And that's what Alaska would be. Unless they do a complete state of emergency for Alaska as if they're going to cease to exist and somehow convince the court system and the government to say that that's what's actually happening, it's very, very unlikely that there will be any amendment to the Passenger Service Act. And by the time it would be negotiated and, back and forth, bantering as always happens when any time government gets involved, it will probably be, the Alaska season will probably be over almost anyway. The next would be to change Canada's mind. And we have had 3 representatives from Alaska actually sent a letter to Prime Minister Trudeau here in Canada stating, that they are shocked with this decision. It's not what good partners do. We weren't consulted. Governments don't consult on safety issues for your country. Let's admit it. It doesn't matter Canada, United States. United States isn't calling Canada to say what regulations they're bringing in for travel and stuff like that. They're not. And Canada is not calling the UK and doing the same thing. No government does that. So let's put that aside. But the length of this ban was over a full year when they announced this, which, everybody was shocked. We all expected that ban to be, extended maybe till May, maybe till June, at least trying to save, July, August, September of the cruise season. But to go a full year, that was completely surprising. And they sent a letter and they say they're in negotiation. They're trying to convince the Trudeau government to, reconsider their complete ban, etc., etc. Now, here's the problem with that. The very first day that this was announced, Justin Trudeau tweets out that we are extending the cruise ship and pleasure craft ban until 2022 to keep Canadians safe and to save lives. Well, once you take that stand, once you state that you're doing it to keep Canadians safe and save lives, there's nowhere to go. There's no negotiation left at that point. Because if they come around in April and they say, you know what, we're thinking on letting cruise ships come in and everything now. Everyone's going to go, what? Is it completely safe now? Are we not in any more danger anymore, Mr. Trudeau? What's going on? Are you not worried about Canadian lives anymore? You see, once you make that statement, you can't come back from it. You can't turn around and say, well, we're doing this to save lives, and then say later on that we're not doing it to save lives, because it doesn't matter how many lives you're talking about. Whether you're talking about 1,000 lives or 20 lives, lives are lives. And you can't backtrack on that. And that's going to be the problem going forward. Do I think they're going to lift it? No. They may make out some arrangements where cruise lines pay the cruise ports to pull in and then pull out, kind of thing, and not actually let anybody off the ship. I imagine the tourism industry in places like Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, Newfoundland, Vancouver would be a little upset with this, saying that other places are now opening and getting money from travel and everything, and we are still going bankrupt. So you see how it seems to be, now that they've come out that long, it seems almost impossible for them to turn around and change their mind anytime soon. And that's a big, big problem. Once you put that line in the sand, it's hard to come back. It's hard to erase the line and put a new line and put a dotted line. You can't. We're doing this that long to protect Canadians and save lives. So we can't change it anymore, because everyone will say, well, I guess lives aren't as important as they were last month, were they? You see, and that's the hard truth of making such a firm statement. And it leaves no room for negotiation, unfortunately. And that's probably why they didn't talk to the Alaska delegation. Do I think the cruise line ban until 2022 is right? Absolutely not. There can be no pandemic left in Canada, yet that ban is still in place. They went too long. There was nothing wrong with just extending it. They've extended the border crossing on a monthly basis. They've extended travel flights on a monthly basis. They've opened and closed businesses on a month-by-month basis. What made cruise ships and pleasure crafts such a target? Again, it seems. So, yeah, not happy with the ban. Do I wish it'll change? Absolutely. Do I hope they come up with some solution? Absolutely. But do I honestly think it's going to happen for this year? Unfortunately, I don't. I would love it, because I will be one of those people on the ship. But I honestly don't think it's going to happen. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.